Morning. Welcome to the Barrie Police Service headquarters in the Barrie Simcoe Emergency Services campus. My name is Janet Mays with the Corporate Communications Unit at the Barrie Police Service, and I will be the moderator for this morning's press conference. In keeping with Indigenous protocol and building respectful relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples in Canada, it is customary to acknowledge the traditional territories and ancestral lands of Indigenous peoples. We would like to acknowledge this sacred land on which the Barrie Simcoe Emergency Services campus operates. It has been the site for human activity for 15,000 years. This land is the ancestral land of the Wendat and the Anishinaabe Nation. The treaty that was signed for this particular parcel of land is collectively referred to as the Williams Treaty. We are committed to honoring Indigenous history and culture. We also recognize the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this land and are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect. Today, we are joined by Police Chief Rich Johnston, who will provide an overview of the investigation. Staff Sergeant Jason Theron and Sergeant Brett Carlton from our Investigative Services Division will share additional details and answer questions. Investigators will do their best to answer any questions, but it is important to keep in mind that this remains an ongoing investigation, which has not yet been tried in court. This may mean that we are just not able to provide answers to certain questions at this point in time. We remain committed to providing the public with as much information as possible without compromising the integrity of the investigation or the ongoing court process. Due to this, we will not be providing one-on-one interviews, so if you would like to ask investigators any questions, please be sure to do so during the question and answer period. I'll now invite Chief Rich Johnston to speak.
Thank you, Jenna. Good morning. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Before I begin, I would like to start by acknowledging friends and families of the victims. Losing a loved one is always a challenging and painful time. Under these circumstances, even more so. On behalf of the Barrie Police Service, I offer you our deepest condolences. I want to reassure our community that this appears to be an isolated occurrence. We are not looking for any additional suspects, nor do we believe that there are additional victims. However, as was mentioned, this remains an ongoing investigation. And if any information comes forward that leads investigators to believe there are additional suspects, victims, or criminal events, those will absolutely be addressed. Barrie is a safe community. Incidents like this are shocking and understandably shake our community, but they are exceedingly rare. Investigators are working closely with many other areas of our service to ensure that these tragic events are thoroughly and meticulously investigated, and that the individual responsible for these acts is held responsible. Give a short recap of the past few weeks. On July 30th, the Barrie Police Service received information that led investigators to the area of Victoria Street, John Street, and N Street South in relation to an ongoing missing person investigation. Additional scenes in Huntsville, as well as a residence in North Simcoe County, were also included in this investigation. As officers searched these areas, significant evidence was recovered, including suspected human remains. On Friday, August 1st, Barrie Police named a 52-year-old male as the suspect, and the male was arrested on Saturday, August 2nd in Midland with the assistance of the Ontario Provincial Police. At that time, 19 criminal charges were laid, including multiple counts related to careless use, unauthorized possession, and unsafe storage of firearms, possession of a firearm with ammunition, dangerous operation of a motor vehicle, and flight from a peace officer. On Thursday, August 14th, additional charges were laid, including murder in second degree, murder in first degree, indignity to a dead body, 2 counts, as well as firearms, drug, and drug trafficking charges. On August 8th, the Barrie Police Service released the scene on Ann Street South back to the property owner, City of Barrie, who remain on scene as the cleanup and remediation continues. The past few weeks have been a difficult and challenging time for our community. I'd like to thank the public for their patience as we work through the necessary investigative steps. We know that there is a desire for more information and transparency, and we are doing our best to provide details, while still ensuring that the integrity of the investigation remains the foremost concern. so that the justice process can be carried out effectively. Please be assured that we will always let the public know if there is a potential risk to public safety. And we will continue to provide media releases when significant information is to be shared, such as when additional charges were laid on August 14th. Thank you to the members of the Barrie Police Service who have been involved in this investigation, especially our investigative services, who you will hear from today. This has been an around-the-clock investigation which has required significant contributions from all areas of the service. Dedication is appreciated. I'll now ask Sergeant Brett Carlton to speak to the details that are able to be shared to this point.
Thank you, Chief Johnson. What began as a missing person investigation was grown into one of the largest investigations Barrie Police have ever had. Numerous criminal code search warrants have been prepared and executed during this investigation, which have supported 33 criminal charges that the accused now faces. With any criminal investigation, the bravery and courage of witnesses to come forward adds valuable insight to the case being built. I want to acknowledge our sincere appreciation to all those who assisted and come forward to assist our officers with the investigation. These were not random murders. The accused and victims were known to one another and all lived in the encampment on Ann Street some time. William Blake Robinson was last in contact with his family on January 18th. He was reported missing to police on February 10th. David Kyle Cheeseway was reported missing at the end of July. We also do not believe at this time that there are additional victims. However, this remains an ongoing investigation, and if other suspects or other victims are identified through the investigation, we will absolutely follow up with those leads. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll now open it up for questions to the investigators. Again, please keep in mind we may not be able to provide certain details at this point.
We know what the motive is, but no, I can't speak. It came in as originally as a missing persons investigation. Correct. The Huntsville connection came through information that we received through additional statements and witnesses. There's human remains found in both Huntsville and in Barrie. Correct. I'm sorry? Just for a bail hearing, yes. All I can say at this time is I knew they're acquaintances and they all lived together at one point. Yeah. No, I can't provide anything.
We do recognize when an incident like this takes place, it is shocking to the community, the entire community, but in particular those vulnerable populations. Again, as was stated, this is an isolated and very isolated occurrence. And again, at this time, there are no other suspects. So the assurances, the police are out there all the time. They exist for public safety purposes. So I do want to make sure that we're focusing that there are 2 lives lost here. That is the purpose of this, that we are speaking to that public.
This is a large investigation over a large portion of area that we've had to search. So there's there's a lot of time in between that. So that is the reason that we're here today. I can't comment on that. I can't comment on the accused. I can't talk about the cause of death. I have no information about that, that I know, but that's all I can say. I cannot talk to it. The North Simcoe, we executed a search warrant there, and that's all I can say on it. It's a property. I can't speak about food that's been accused. Yes, at the time. I think there's already information in the news about that, and he was arrested with the assistance of the OP. I can't speak on that this moment. Bail was denied. Over the past 2 or 3 years, where people have been occupying the encampment at 60 Ann Street. Yes, he was known to those. Violent, yes. No. I have no information about any children. I'm sorry, say that again. I can't speak about the arrest. I'm sorry? As far as I know, he was not, he had no employment. Well, I can speak about what the difference is, but not with regards to this case. Murder one, there's motive, right? They're planning.
So as you can appreciate, the purpose of this, we're here for the investigation and the ongoing investigation. The encampment itself, that's that falls within city's area property, and those encampments, again, with the case law that exists, why they exist, that's beyond our purview. Our attendants there are on request when we are receiving calls.
I can't comment on that.
As you can appreciate, 2 sons won't be coming home today, and they won't come home, and that is a loss to families, and that is our purpose here today.
I can't talk on the exact dates. January and again. I believe serial killers, as defined, are 3 and above. So my answer would be no. I can't comment. I can't comment on the charges. Sorry. Yeah. I can't comment on the charges before the court. I wasn't there, so no. So I think that he fled from the police. He will be arrested. In a vehicle. In the town of it. That's all I can say. I can't comment on the weapons. No, I don't believe so. This has been great, though. Thank you. I can't comment on that. I can comment on Autumn, and there's no connection with Autumn Shaggin's case and this investigation. We obviously take things very seriously. As for your other part of the question, that's something that we'll find out during the trial process.